All right, guys, welcome to Thursday quiz prep homework. Just make sure you understand what you need to. This is your last chance to dial it all in to get that A on Friday. All right, let's dive in. Okay, pause me, work out that problem, unpause me, and we'll see how you did. And so up here, if you find it's a special solution, you would note that. If it's single solution, just work it out. Go. All right, hopefully you're doing the stuff in your sleep now. I mean, really, you're going to start with your distributing. And then I'm just going to copy down everything else. And now I'm going to look for any like terms. Put together my C's here. They're both negative, so negative 17C. And then just finish copying everything down that I didn't use. And now I'm just going to solve my two-step. So I've already got all the variables together on the right-hand side. I'm going to move my constants over. That's just really another way to say solve a two-step. Dividing off that negative 17. The negatives cancel on the other side. The C is left by itself. So we've got C equals 12/17. If you got that, you're on your way to an A. If not, pause again, look through mine and your work, find your mistake, be a detective, figure out what you're missing and what you're doing wrong, and then make sure you solve that and start practicing it correctly. Okay. All right. Same thing. Pause me, work through number 2, and then see how it goes, and then we'll go to number 3. Go. All right, let's see how you did on number 2. I'm going to start by just combining any like terms I see. Here I've got some constants, a -4 and a -3. I'm going to put those guys together, and then I'm just going to bring down that -5n. Go to the other side. Here I've got some n's to put together. A -3 and a -2 is a -5n. And I'll bring down the -2. Did you see something at this point? If you do, good job. I'm just going to make it explicit for anyone who might not have yet. I'm going to move all my variables to one side. I'm going to cancel off that -5n with a +5n. And oh my goodness, they both cancel. We've just come upon a special solution, so look at what's left. -7 on one side, -2 on the other. Those are not equal, therefore this is a no solution. And as far as the quiz goes, make sure you give me something to denote that. It could be as simple as -7 equals -2. Now I know you see there's no solution because that's not a possible statement. All right, move on to number 3. Solve that one, and then unpause, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, number 3. Distributing as always. Bringing everything I didn't do down, and I've got some like terms there. I'll just do those right now. J and -4j is -3j. Remember, j by itself has got a 1 in front of it, so it's 1 and -4, which makes -3. Here we are. I've got some more like terms on this side, a -7 and a -20. And now we're down. We're down to variables on both sides and a constant on both sides. And we're going to move everything to one or the other side. I'm going to move my variables to the right because the larger group of negatives is on the left. So if I cancel those, all my variables become positive. Makes my life a little bit easier. Subtract those. Good guys, bad guys. And you know what? We'll do both steps at this point. So since I moved variables right, we're going to move constants to the left. Cancel the -7. Bad guys and bad guys. Make -15. There we are. Final step. divide off the 24, which means our j equals negative 15 over 24, which you can reduce. We're going to divide out of 3, which gives us a 5 and an 8. So there you go, negative 5/8 is reduced. Okay, now use a fraction buster. I want you to solve this with the fraction buster. That's how you'll get points on the quiz, so go ahead and give it a shot. Go. All right, when I talk about fraction buster, there's a way to get rid of that 4 and that 2. We'll take one step for each of those. And after those 2 steps are taken, we will have a fraction without, an equation without any fractional values in it. It'll just be much simpler to work with, okay? You can start with either one, but it'll be easier to cancel the value under the variable first. It might make things look a little simpler. So I'm gonna use the 2, I'm gonna multiply a 2 through. Now, I'm writing it in distributing form, which might look a little odd for folks going across the equal sign. But it is valid because remember, as long as we do the same thing to both sides, the equation stays balanced. You just have to make sure you do it to each term in the equation. So if you do it to all 3 of those, it works. You could also just write it like this. If this makes more sense, you could just multiply each individual piece by 2. That's the exact same thing as distributing form, whatever makes more sense to you. Okay, so we've got the 2 times the 3. Remember when a whole number multiplies a fraction? It's just straight to the top. So in this very, very first one, we're just multiplying 2 times 3, and then it's over 4. And don't forget your negative sign. The next one, the 2's are going to cancel. When you multiply this 2 with this p over 2, the whole point is to cancel those 2's, which releases the p and gets it by itself. So now the p is broken away. That was the whole point of the fraction buster. And then we continue on. That 2 times the 6 makes 12. So after one step, it's already looking simpler. Now I'm going to do it again, and you know what? I'll use this version of writing it the second time around, just so everybody's comfortable with both. Those 4's are going to cancel. That breaks the negative 6 out. 4 times p is just 4p, and the 12 times 4, 48. Much simpler if we were going to solve that problem at this point. With a fraction buster, we make something difficult look much simpler. And that's it. That's all I'm looking for on this problem. I think we're going to run out of time on Friday's quiz. So on a fraction buster, if I ask you to use the fraction buster, it's just simplify, get rid of the fractions. All right, here's a granddaddy. Give it a shot, go. All right, let's do this. I've got some distributing here. That's going to be negative 18 and a plus 3z. Did you notice what you're distributing on the right-hand side? It's not a value, it's just the sign, or negative 1 if you want to look at it that way. So that becomes negative 5z minus 2. Copy the rest down. Look for any like terms and let's combine them. We've got z's and z's here. Negative 2 and 3 is just 1z. We call 1z, z. Bring down that negative 18, and that's all that's left on the left. Right-hand side, there's just the negative 5z. There's no like terms to combine with it. We've got a 4, a negative 2, and a 9. Put them all together. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 plus 9, 11. And there we go. Now we're going to move all variables to one side, constants to the other. I'm going to cancel off this negative set of variables so they become positive. And then we'll move the constants the other direction. Since we moved variables left, I'm going to cancel so that I move all my constants to the right. 18 and 11, 29. Get the z by itself, canceling off that 6. And we end up with 29 over 6. And that'll go in. If we want to rewrite that, 6 times 4 is 24. And 5/6. There you go. If you got that, you just got the bonus problem on the quiz this week. All right. Good luck. See you tomorrow.